Hi, I'm Caitlin. I built my marketing agency from scratch while most of my college friends were still figuring out their careers. That drive is probably what attracted Thomas to me 5 years ago. That and my take no prisoners approach to negotiations, which he found refreshingly direct for a woman in business. I was checking the household accounts in my home office when my phone buzzed. It was my best friend Olivia. "You need to come to lunch with me today. No excuses this time." "I can't just drop everything. Emma has therapy at 3 and I need to review these statements before Thomas gets back from his trip." "That's exactly why we need to talk. Bring the statements. I'll see you at Westlake Bistro at noon." I sighed, looking at the confusing transactions I'd been trying to make sense of. Thomas's tech company had gone public last year, catapulting us into a financial bracket I still wasn't comfortable with. The penthouse, the staff, the private school for Emma. It was a long way from my studio apartment days. I walked down the hallway to Emma's room, hearing gentle voices inside. My daughter's blindness had been diagnosed shortly after her first birthday. At 7, she'd adapted better than any of us. And then the princess realized she didn't need eyes to see the truth, I heard Vanessa saying as I opened the door. "I like that story," Emma said. Her face turned toward the sound of Vanessa's voice, small fingers tracing the braille in her book. "Good morning, ladies," I said, entering the room. Emma's face lit up. "Mom, Vanessa made up a new princess story for me." I smiled at our nanny. Perfect Vanessa with her perfect resume and perfect references. Too perfect, maybe. She'd been with us for 8 months, and Thomas insisted she was worth every penny of her exorbitant salary. "That's wonderful. Emma, remember you have therapy this afternoon?" "I know, Mom. Vanessa already laid out my therapy clothes." Of course she had. I nodded at Vanessa. "Can I see you in the kitchen when you're done here?" In the kitchen, I poured coffee while waiting for Vanessa. "Is everything okay, Caitlin?" she asked, entering the room with that perpetually concerned expression. "Did Thomas mention anything about transferring money from our joint account last week?" A flicker of something crossed her face. "No, but you know he handles so many accounts. Perhaps it was for Emma's trust?" "Perhaps." I sipped my coffee. "He's coming home tonight instead of tomorrow. He wants to surprise Emma." "Oh, I should prepare his favorite dinner then." Another thing that bothered me. How did she know his favorite foods better than I did? At the bistro, Olivia didn't waste time. "You look like hell. What's going on?" "Money's missing from accounts. Thomas is dodging my calls, and our perfect nanny seems to know my husband better than I do." Olivia reached for my hand. "I saw them, Kate." "Saw who?" "Thomas and Vanessa. At the Marmont Hotel last month when I was there for that conference. I wasn't sure at first, but—" My stomach dropped. "You're sure?" "They didn't see me. I was going to tell you, but then Thomas deposited that money for Emma's new treatments, and I thought maybe I was wrong." I pushed the statements toward her. "Look at these withdrawals. All when he's supposedly traveling." Olivia's face hardened. "What are you going to do?" "First, I'm going to find out exactly what I'm dealing with. Then, I'm going to protect my daughter. And after that," I felt something cold settle in my chest. "After that, I'm going to make sure Thomas regrets the day he thought he could take advantage of me." I drove home from lunch with Olivia with my hands shaking on the steering wheel. We'd made a plan. She'd come over tomorrow when Thomas was at work to help me install some cameras. For now, I needed to stay calm and gather evidence. When I got home, Emma was napping, and Vanessa said she was going to the store for dinner ingredients. Perfect timing. I headed straight for Thomas's home office. His laptop was password protected, but I knew his patterns. Our anniversary followed by Emma's birth year. I was in. Nothing interesting in his emails, but then I noticed his iPad on the side table. He never used the device password, relying on fingerprint unlock. I picked it up, praying it hadn't timed out. It hadn't, and there they were. Hundreds of text messages between him and Vanessa. "She's getting suspicious about the money," one message from Thomas read. "Just transfer smaller amounts. She's too busy with work to notice," Vanessa had replied. My blood ran cold as I scrolled through their conversations. Plans for trips, complaints about me, discussions about Emma. I heard the front door open and quickly put everything back. I slipped out of the office just as Vanessa walked in with groceries. "You're back! I'm making Thomas's favorite steak for tonight." "How thoughtful," I said, forcing a smile. "I'm going to wake Emma from her nap." In Emma's room, I gently woke my daughter, sitting on the edge of her bed. "Mommy, is it time for therapy?" "Not yet, sweetie. I just wanted to talk. Has anything unusual been happening when I'm not home?" Emma fidgeted with her blanket. "Like what?" "Like anything you've been asked to keep secret?" Her little face changed. "Am I in trouble?" "No, honey. Never. You can tell me anything. Daddy said I shouldn't tell you about his special friendship with Vanessa. He said it would make you sad and angry." My heart shattered. What kind of special friendship? "They have special hugs, and Vanessa sleeps in your room sometimes when you're gone." I took a deep breath. "You did nothing wrong, Emma. Thank you for telling me." The next day, Olivia arrived with tiny cameras disguised as household objects. "These will sync to your phone," she explained, as we placed them strategically around the house. "Living room, kitchen, hallway, and I hate to say it, but definitely your bedroom." I've been checking the accounts. He's moved almost $200,000 to an account I can't trace. "Divorce fund for him and the nanny," Olivia spat. That night, Thomas came home, all smiles and gifts. I played along, feeling sick. After Emma was asleep, I confronted him in our bedroom. "I know about you and Vanessa." His face hardened. "What exactly do you think you know?" "The texts, the money transfers. Emma told me about your special friendship." "You're going through my private messages? Interrogating our daughter?" "Caitlin, this is exactly the paranoid behavior your therapist warned about." "Don't turn this around on me. I saw the messages." "What messages? Show me these supposed messages," he demanded. I reached for his iPad, but it was wiped clean. All texts deleted. "This is ridiculous. You need help, Kate. This paranoia, these accusations, it's getting worse." "Don't gaslight me, Thomas. I know what I saw." His voice dropped dangerously low. "Be careful. Remember what happened after Emma was born? The anxiety attacks? The hospitalization? How do you think a judge would react knowing you're having paranoid delusions again?" I felt the blood drain from my face. "Keep pushing this, and I'll have no choice but to seek full custody of Emma, for her safety and well-being." He left me standing there, trembling with rage and fear. But beneath the fear, something hardened. The cameras were in place. Now I just needed to wait. I couldn't sleep. By morning, I was investigating. While Thomas showered, I grabbed his phone and found a contact listed only as V, with a different number than Vanessa had given us. I called my friend Derek, who worked in private security. "This is crossing some lines, Kate," he said, examining the number. "Please, this woman is taking care of my blind daughter." He typed the number into his database. "This connects to a Vanessa Wilson, not Parker. She has quite a record: fraud, identity theft, and a case where she manipulated an elderly patient into changing their will." Were there charges? Dropped when the victim refused to testify. Probably too scared. Back home, I checked the hidden cameras on my phone. Thomas arrived early, going straight to Emma's room where Vanessa was reading. They embraced right over my daughter's head, then stepped into the hallway. "Kate's getting worse. She accused me of having an affair," Thomas said. "Perfect. Has she been taking those pills I've been putting in her tea?" "She's been foggy, emotional. It won't be hard to convince a judge she's unstable. We need to move faster on the transfers. If she checks the offshore account." "She can't. Once we have custody of Emma, we'll control her trust fund too." I immediately dumped the tea Vanessa had left me. Later, Emma came to me crying. "Mom, I heard them talking. They said after you go away, they're sending me to a special school because I'm too much work." I held her close. "That's never going to happen." The next day, I met attorney Marcus Peterson, bringing all my evidence. "They're conspiring to gaslight you, drug you, and defraud both you and your daughter," he said. "If I confront them, Thomas will destroy me. Make them think their plan is working. Act unstable when being watched, but secretly secure your assets. I'll prepare emergency paperwork. I followed his advice perfectly, acting erratic on camera while remaining clear-headed. 2 nights later, while pretending to be sedated on the couch, I recorded them in the kitchen. Once the judge grants me emergency custody, we move Emma's trust into our account, Thomas said. What about that boarding school in Switzerland? Perfect. Special needs program, but far enough away. And with Caitlin committed, we'll have months to disappear with the money. When do we make our final move? Family dinner on Sunday. Caitlin will have an episode. I'll express concern about Emma's safety, and we'll have witnesses for the custody filing Monday. I stopped the recording. Sunday dinner was 3 days away. Time to set my own trap. Sunday arrived. I spent the morning finalizing details with Marcus and Olivia. Everyone's confirmed? Olivia asked, helping me prepare the dining room. Yes. Thomas's parents, his brother James, and surprisingly, his business partner Michael is coming too. Marcus checked his phone. The officers will be waiting outside. Once you send the text, they'll come in. I knelt beside Emma, straightening her dress. Remember what we practiced? If anyone starts yelling, you go with Aunt Olivia. I'm not scared, Mom. I know you won't let them send me away. The doorbell rang at 6 sharp. Thomas's parents arrived first, followed by James and Michael. Thomas played the perfect host, while Vanessa served drinks, eyeing me cautiously. You seem better today, Caitlin, Thomas's mother said. I'm feeling very clear-headed, I replied, catching Thomas and Vanessa exchanging glances. Once everyone was seated for dinner, Thomas clinked his glass. Before we eat, I wanted to share some concerns with the family about Caitlin's health. Actually, I interrupted, standing up. I have something to share first. Thomas frowned. Honey, maybe this isn't the time. It's exactly the time. I pulled out my tablet. I'd like everyone to see what's been happening in this house. I played the recording of Thomas and Vanessa discussing drugging me and sending Emma away. The room fell silent. That's taken out of context, Thomas sputtered. Really? How about this context? I played videos of them together, followed by evidence of the financial transfers. Or how about Vanessa's real identity? I handed Michael a folder. Those are records of company funds Thomas has been embezzling to fund his new life with Vanessa Wilson, who has a criminal record for fraud and elder abuse. Michael's face turned red as he flipped through the pages. What the hell, Thomas? These are company accounts. Thomas lunged toward me, but James grabbed him. Don't make it worse, bro. Vanessa made a break for the door, but Olivia blocked her path. Going somewhere? I sent the text, and seconds later, 2 police officers entered. Thomas Williams and Vanessa Wilson? We have warrants for your arrest on charges of conspiracy to commit fraud, embezzlement, identity theft, and administering controlled substances without consent. As they were handcuffed, Thomas glared at me. You won't get away with this. The best lawyers in the country won't help when your assets are frozen and your partners are testifying against you, Marcus said, stepping forward. Miss Williams has already been granted emergency custody of Emma and control of all joint assets. 6 months later, Emma and I moved into our new home, smaller than the penthouse but actually ours. Thomas received 8 years for financial crimes and attempted poisoning. Vanessa got 5 years, plus additional charges from previous victims who came forward. Emma was thriving in her new school. That afternoon, as we sat in the garden, she asked, Are you still sad about Daddy? Not sad, honey. Disappointed. But mostly I'm happy we're safe. Me too. I like our new life better. I watched my daughter's fingers trace the braille in her new book, a real story about a princess who saved herself. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just about punishment. It's about rebuilding something stronger from the ruins. What would you do if you discovered someone was not only cheating on you, but actively plotting to drug you, take your child away, and steal your money? Is there a line that once crossed makes forgiveness impossible? Would you have handled the situation differently than Caitlin did? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story of justice served, please hit that like button and subscribe for more compelling stories that make you think. What other revenge scenarios would you like to see in future videos?